feel pretty safe traveling on public transportation.
I feel pretty safe.
Oh, I feel very safe.
I do know that anything can happen, but I do feel pretty safe.
More concerned about traveling on the airplane because you just don't know who you're on the plane with.
Very safe. We've got the best military in the world. Our police officers are trained better than anyone else's.
You can get killed anywhere. Subway's as safe as anywhere else in the world.
I think extra screening on the subway and trains is probably going to be a bit much.
At airports, I think I might feel a little more comfortable. In the subways, I don't think it's necessary.
I feel like it would make lines really long and people wouldn't use it.
I just don't think screening is really necessary. I just think being more careful of who comes into the country, I think that's necessary.
It's part of the times now. That's like normal procedure. Better be safe than sorry.
Find it to be unnecessary, intrusive, pointless.
I do not believe that Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump would deal well with terrorism.
I don't think either of the presidential candidates would do well with security.
Hillary would be better suited to deal with terror.
I would probably think Hillary Clinton.
Hillary's already proven that she can't take care of it.
I think Donald Trump will be better for terrorism. I think he's going to make sure that no one comes into the country, which will be safer.
I think President Trump will do a great job.
We have got some time to spend with you right now at 1-877-Newsmax, 1-877-Newsmax, and specifically we're going to focus on exactly what we just talked about. Those were people in New York City today, and we were talking to them about public transportation in New York City. I'm going to be honest, I'm a New York City kid. I was born and raised there. When you look at all the public transportation that goes on in Manhattan, think about it. You have the Port Authority bus terminal, which is one of the biggest bus terminals probably in the world, and all the people that run in and out of there. You have Penn Station is underneath Madison Square Garden. You have Grand Central Station. You have the airports there, 3 major airports that are there, transportation hubs that are there. And in light of what we saw this week happen in Turkey, where granted, it's a different country, we have much better. The New York City Police Department is one of the best in the world when it comes to protecting people. But we have places all around the country where, quite frankly, airports, bus stations, train stations were never really made to deal with terrorism. Be honest about it here right now. When you think about it, they weren't built to have so much security. They were not built to have all of these different stations. They were not built to have the way that when cars come in, they can be stopped by concrete barriers. But we're changing everything right now. Why? Because we have to. So here's a simple question that I want to ask. We've got some time, so let's dig into this. Everybody here, pretty much everybody, is going to at one time or another, you may have been, you may still to this day, you may in the future, get involved in public transportation, specifically airplanes. We talked about the TSA a little while ago. Do you feel safe? Do you believe that everything is being done? Not just the TSA, but let's talk about train stations, bus terminals, so many other places as well, where quite frankly, if terror wanted to strike, hey, let's not forget what happened with the sarin gas attack in the Orient years ago, all right? Let's talk about that. There were problems there. It was easy to get to. Do you feel safe at this time? What could be done? And if you're an airport traveler, do you care? I mean, quite frankly, if somebody comes up to you and says, I'll tell you what, we're going to keep you 100% safe on the airplane. 100%, we're going to guarantee it. But you're going to have to spend 2 hours at the airport. You're going to have to spend a little more time there. We're going to have to make sure that everything on that airplane, everything in every single bag, and every person that gets on board the plane is 100% safe. We'll guarantee it, but you're going to have to spend more time. Oh, and by the way, you might have to spend a little more money, too. Although we both know that there's price gouging and the airlines make more money than they deserve right now. But let's just say that. Let's put that out there for giggles and grins. Is that okay with you? And do you feel safe? A couple of things I've always wanted to ask. Let's see if we can dig into it right now. 1-877-Newsmax, 1-877-Newsmax. Jeff from Key Largo. Jeff, let's bring you in here. I know that originally when you got on the line, you wanted to talk about Chris Christie. I get it. Maybe I'll still ask you a question there. But Jeff, let me ask you, when it comes down to your public transportation, and last time I checked, I don't think there's any subways in Key Largo, unless I've missed something over the years. But getting on a plane right now, do you feel safe? Would you pay more money? And would you be willing to stand in line longer if they can guarantee your safety?
Okay, I fly out of the country every month. I have a Cuban national wife and a young son in Artemisa, Cuba. Now, I will say this about MIA. The the
Miami
TSA
International
does
Airport.
A good job in Miami Airport. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, but most people may not know what MIA is. That's Miami International Airport.
That's Miami Airport. Miami Airport does a pretty good job. Let me just say this, Ed, real quick, and I've said this before to you. Let's use the metaphor. If SpongeBob is going around killing everybody in the United States, who are you going to look for? Okay? Let's use common sense. Okay? And I think that's what MIA does. This politically correctness is just, it's not, that's why I don't feel safe, okay?
Okay, wait a minute. You don't feel safe getting on a plane right now?
No, listen, I do what I have to do because I got to go see my wife and son, but
okay.
I feel like TSA is doing a pretty good job in MIA, and you've heard about Miami's doing better than the other airports around the country. But most of the flights aren't going to the Middle East. They're all going over to, South America, or they're going to Cuba and such and such. So, but I'm just saying we're supposed to be vigilant, and that I rest my case. Common sense.
Okay, common sense, which, as my granny told me many years ago, and I still say this to people all the time, she used to say common sense is not that common. And I think, quite frankly, she's got it right when it comes down to a lot of this. Jeff, thanks so much. By the way, call us when they get that subway system built so that we can all go to Isla Mirada without having to get in a car. There you go. Thanks a lot. Gerald from Black Canyon City. By the way, 1-877-Newsmax if you want to join us. Gerald, I know you came in to talk about Chris Christie and other things here, but let me stick with what we're talking about here right now. I know you're not going to mind here. You're a smart guy. Are you safe? Do you feel safe getting on an airplane right now? Would you pay more, and would you mind standing in line longer if it meant that you and your family could be safe?
No, I don't. I'm not safe. I don't feel safe at all on our airlines.
Why?
Well, it's just poor security. It's just the long lines. Things are going to slip through. They always do.
Okay, but here's the point, though, Gerald. If they come to you, whether it's a private security or the TSA or whatever, and they say to you, Gerald, we're going to make you safe. We're going to be like what they do in Israel. We're going to bring in their procedures. We're going to make sure that everybody's checked, every bag is checked, but you might have to spend some more money, and you might have to spend 2 hours in line. Would that make you feel better?
Yes.
And you wouldn't mind, at that point, standing in the line, paying the extra buck to make sure that you're okay?
No, I wouldn't mind that at all.
There you go. All right. Gerald, call us another time. I appreciate it, but we got to move on here. I know you wanted to talk about Chris Christie, but I want to focus on this right now. Thank you for indulging me, if you will. All right. 1-877-Newsmax if you want to join us. Mike in Las Vegas. Talk about an airport to get in and out of. All right, Mike. You get that chance. Same question. You have to spend more. You're going to spend time in line, but damn it, we're going to make you safe. That okay with you?
Yes, it is. Definitely. I don't feel safe right now, even after this. It's just I'll make it real quick. It's just we failed somewhere in the security. But if they can prove to us that they're going to go ahead and they're going to make us a lot more safe, I wouldn't mind paying more money. No doubt. That would be something that I would definitely do. But my question to you is everybody listening, what are they going to do to keep us safe here in the United States?
Well, what they're talking about right now is using a lot of the procedures that they use in Israel right now, which is looking at every single bag, looking at every single person, and profiling, because the Israeli Secret Service and their military profiles before you get on a plane. You okay with that? Because, and there's a question, a lot of people say profiling's the worst thing you can do.
No, definitely. If it's going to keep me safe, I'm all for it.
All right, and you don't mind the money, you don't mind the lines?
No, definitely not, as long as I'm safe.
All right, there you go. Thanks a lot for calling us. Now, we'll still cover a lot of these political things as well, but if we've got a chance to do this, and this is important into what's happening right now in Turkey, because let's be very honest, that's another airport. That's not here in America. We get it. Things are probably a lot safer here. But there's still people here in this country who don't trust the TSA, and quite frankly, I travel a lot. I watch what the TSA does. I'm not quite sure that I trust them completely either. And personally, you tell me that I got to pay a couple extra bucks, and if I've got to stand in line a little bit longer, and you want to look in the bag, go right ahead. Because at the end of the day, I want to get home to my family, I want to get home to my friends, I want to make sure that the flight is safe, so I'd be willing to do it. Then again, there's a lot of people who say, with all the money we spend right now to the TSA and the Department of Homeland Security, we should be safe right now, regardless of how long the lines are. Hey, look, if you're traveling on the 4th of July holiday, be safe. Leave the firecrackers somewhere else, okay? Don't use them. Don't hurt your friends, your family, your dogs, the ears. Don't use the firecrackers this year. Enjoy. Rock on, true believers. See you Monday right back here on The Hard Line.